Something strange is happening inside Canada, and today, the world is finally starting to realize it. Because while other countries are closing their borders, tightening their rules, and blaming immigrants for their problems, Canada has quietly done the opposite. And the mastermind behind this surprising shift is none other than Prime Minister Mark Carney. For months, analysts were predicting that Canada would slash immigration, reduce intake, and rebuild its economy inward. But instead, Carney has just approved one of the most ambitious immigration blueprints in modern Canadian history, a plan that could change the country's entire economic future, shake up global labor markets, and create a new era of opportunity for skilled workers around the world. The 2026 to 2028 Immigration Masterplan is not just a policy update. It is a message. A bold statement directly from Ottawa to the rest of the world, that Canada is not slowing down, it is gearing up. According to officials, Canada will target 380,000 permanent residents every single year, with a huge share reserved specifically for skilled workers, international graduates, and high-demand professions. But here's where things get even more interesting. While critics feared Canada's slowing housing market and rising interest rates would force a cut in immigration numbers, Carney took the exact opposite approach. He argues that the country's growth, its labor shortage, and its aging population demand more people, not fewer. His message is simple: immigration is not Canada's weakness, it is the country's most powerful economic weapon. Behind the scenes, Carney has been pushing a strategy that economists are calling one of the smartest long-term moves Canada has made in years, a strategy that positions immigrants not as a burden, but as the backbone of future Canadian industries. And according to leaked internal documents, Canada has already identified more than 30 key sectors where skilled workers are urgently needed. From tech to transportation, from healthcare to infrastructure, from energy to advanced manufacturing, the roadmap is clear: the country is preparing for a massive workforce transformation. But here comes the twist. Carney's plan is not just about bringing people in, it's about outsmarting the global competition. Because while the United States under Trump 2.0 is tightening work visas, raising entry barriers, and pushing America first in every direction, Canada is doing something else entirely. It is quietly positioning itself as the world's most immigrant-friendly advanced economy, a place where international talent can build careers without political chaos, without unpredictability, and without fear that rules will change overnight. In fact, several American companies have already begun shifting operations north, citing easier immigration pathways, faster approvals, and a workforce that is becoming more diverse and more specialized. Carney's strategy is turning Canada into a magnet, a safe, stable landing spot for the brightest minds who feel shut out of the United States. But the masterstroke of this plan is hidden deeper. The government is preparing to overhaul processing speeds, digitize visa systems, and expand provincial nominee programs, especially in Ontario, British Columbia, Alberta, and Nova Scotia. Provinces are being given more power to pick the workers they want, based on real-time labor needs. This means that for the first time in years, skilled immigrants will have a faster, more predictable, and more targeted pathway to residency. And that is not all. Internal analysts believe that Carney's plan could help Canada avoid the demographic crisis facing Japan and parts of Europe. By 2035, more than 9 million Canadians will retire. Without a massive new workforce, the economy could shrink, healthcare systems could collapse under shortages, and key industries would suffer irreversible damage. Carney is trying to solve the problem before it becomes unfixable. Meanwhile, opposition leaders are furious. They claim the country can't handle more newcomers, that housing is too tight, that costs are too high. But Carney's answer is sharp and unapologetic. He argues that immigrants are not the cause of the crisis, the lack of planning is. And now, for the first time in a decade, Canada finally has a leader who is planning not just for one election cycle, but for the next generation. Economists at several major Canadian banks are already calling the plan bold, high-risk, and potentially revolutionary. Because if it works, Canada won't just grow, it could become one of the world's top 3 destinations for global talent, right after the US and UK. And with the US tightening its doors, Canada may have just taken the lead. Today, thousands of potential applicants across Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and Europe are already celebrating. Facebook groups, Telegram channels, and immigration forums are exploding with questions. When will draws start? Which sectors will open first? How will provinces pick candidates? The excitement is real, and rising. But in Ottawa, one thing is absolutely clear. Mark Carney is not just opening the doors, he is rebuilding the entire house. Because this time, Canada is not looking for temporary workers, it is looking for permanent builders. Immigrants who will stay, work, innovate, pay taxes, raise families, and shape the next era of this country's identity. Whether critics like it or not, the math is simple. The world is shrinking. The population is aging. The global competition for skilled workers is heating up faster than ever. And in the middle of all this, Canada has made its move, a move that could define its future for decades. Mark Carney has drawn the line. Canada is open. The masterplan is active. And the race for the future has officially begun.